All right, we've spent a ton of time talking about the theory behind AI training. But theory can only take you so far. Today, we're going to get our hands dirty. We're moving from the abstract to the concrete to see how all these strategies actually play out in the real world. And just as a quick reminder, this is part 13 of our big deep dive into that fantastic research from Virtualization Options LLC. We're going to be pulling 4 really powerful case studies straight from the report that bring all these concepts to life. So let's answer that big question right there. How does this stuff actually work when the rubber hits the road? We're going to look at 4 anonymous but very real examples, and they just perfectly highlight this fundamental clash between focusing on shareholder value versus focusing on the customer experience. Okay, let's kick things off with 2 organizations that are, well, basically polar opposites. We're about to see a really stark contrast between a financial firm that's all about shareholder value and a retail giant that is completely obsessed with its customers. Okay, let's break this down. On one side, you've got Case A, the financial firm. For them, AI training was all about responding to pressure from investors. The goal was pretty simple: manage AI risk, tighten up governance, keep the shareholders happy. But then you look at Case B, the retailer, a completely different story. Their whole mission was using AI to connect with customers, to personalize everything, and to build loyalty that would last for years. So the financial firm's strategy? It was surgical. They put $8 million into a very, very focused trading program. And this wasn't for everybody, no way. It was aimed squarely at 450 key people in critical governance roles. Why? To keep the shareholders and the regulators satisfied. Now check out the contrast with the retailer. They spent more, $12 million, but their approach was the total opposite of surgical. It was this huge, broad program designed to upskill more than 3,000 frontline employees. The people actually talking to customers every single day. The goal here wasn't just compliance, it was empowerment. So, did it work for the financial firm? Absolutely. From a shareholder's point of view, it was a home run. They improved their AI risk disclosures, which made regulators happy, and most importantly, it gave a real boost to investor confidence. Mission accomplished. Now, this is what I find so fascinating. Look at how differently the retailer measured success. They weren't looking at risk reports, they were looking at people. And the result? A 15% jump in customer satisfaction scores. And get this, an estimated $45 million in new revenue. It's a completely different way of looking at return on investment, isn't it? But, it's not always a simple choice between one or the other. What happens when the stakes are literally life and death? That brings us to our third case, a healthcare provider that had to figure out how to walk that tightrope. See, this organization couldn't just pick a side. They had to deal with shareholder concerns like legal liability, while at the same time protecting the absolute critical trust of their patients. So what did they do? They built this complex $15 million program around 4 pillars. First, getting clinical staff up to speed on the tools. Second, embedding ethics deep into the process. Third, making sure they were airtight on compliance. And fourth, and this is so crucial, teaching staff how to actually talk to patients about AI's role in their care. And for our last case, we're going to look at a story that really serves as a powerful cautionary tale. It shows you the potential human cost when that drive for shareholder value through automation is pushed to its absolute limit. I mean, just look at the numbers. From a purely financial view, the results were incredible. The firm put $6 million into AI automation training and saw a staggering 400% return on that investment. It was all driven by a 20% drop in operating costs. A massive success, right? Well, here's the other side of that coin. That incredible efficiency gain came at a steep price. 450 jobs were eliminated, and the company offered very little retraining support. It just lays bare that stark and often painful trade-off that comes when a strategy is laser-focused on efficiency and shareholder returns. So when you put all 4 of these stories together, side by side, what's the big takeaway? It's this. Your organization's core strategy isn't just some nice-sounding mission statement you hang on the wall. When it comes to AI, that strategy, it really does become your destiny. This table just brilliantly sums it all up. An AI training strategy is never, ever just a technical decision. It's a direct reflection of what a company truly values. And you can see the pattern, right? A shareholder focus leads to things like risk mitigation or pure ROI, And the impact on the workforce is either very narrow training or, well, job cuts. But a customer focus? That leads to broad upskilling. The consequences for the people involved are just profound. And that leaves us with one final and, I think, pretty provocative thought. If your organization's AI strategy is like a mirror that reflects its deepest priorities, what image does it show? Is it a picture of risk management? Of customer delight? A careful balancing act? Or just pure bottom-line efficiency? What does your strategy reveal?